Hey, I'm Olivia. I'm the Southern Yankee Stitcher. Welcome to my Flosstube. This is a video about cross stitch. I am here in my craft room, and as you can see, I have a little baby seat there and a teepee right there, and um, those are things to entertain my grandchildren while they're here. But this is a store-all room too. That's what happens with the craft room. I don't know if yours is that way. It's been so long since I recorded a video. Not because I didn't want to, just because, life just got in the way. I've been busy or I come home and I'm so tired. And it's just, the holidays are upon us for sure. We're smack dab in the middle of them, aren't we? Which is a busy time, which is why I thought I'm doing this today or it won't get done. I just, earlier recorded the video, lost it. Then I recorded part of a video. Saw my daughter's car. I'm looking out the window now, and I was like, oh, I didn't know she came home from work. I need to check in with her before she goes back out again. No, I forgot she took the truck to work today. She's not here. I paused it to go talk to her. Lost what I had. Because I was recording this the wrong way. Anyway. I have it figured out now. I'm not going to lose what I recorded. I hope. I see some little red marks on here. I think that's where my cats caught me. Now I have scratches all over me for my cats. Those two sweet little kittens I showed you in the last video, well, now they're like bratty teenagers. They get into everything, and they like to wake me up in the middle of the night by rubbing on my face. One of them bit my nose one time to wake me up. They bite my earlobes to wake me up. I love them. You can't feed something like, feed a baby with a syringe is what we did for as long as I did without falling in love with him. And they think I'm mama, definitely. But good grief. I mean, the scratches stuff I have. I came in here earlier today before I recorded that hour-long video. And I don't let them in this room. I keep the door shut. Well, I left the door open just while I ran. I think I ran to get a drink. Which, if I drink, y'all, just please excuse me. I just get dry mouth sometimes from some medicine I take. Anyway, they knocked a bunch of stuff off here off my desk in that time. I had some little like baby's breath that was dried sticking in a little like jar thing over there. They had that in the middle of the floor. I had to vacuum it up just before I made the video. They're brats. But I love them. Oh goodness. A couple weeks ago, week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that, I typed my little thing up here of things I wanted to talk about in my Flosstube because I was going to make one before Thanksgiving. It never happened. But I still have my notes here, and I'm going to go by that because it's been so long. I need to add things to it. It's been so long. But it's been so long, some of these things I will probably forget to tell you because I thought, oh, it's so long ago, I already told you about that. But I didn't. And the first thing was a retreat I went to, another retreat at Panda's Crossing, which is my LNS. It's in Malden, South Carolina, about an hour from me. And they had a murder mystery stitch-in. It was like murder mystery / bonfire / stitch-in. Okay. It wasn't really a bonfire, but they had a fire pit in their parking lot. And then they had a murder mystery that was going on, and we had the stitch-in. So how that worked was every so often the actors who were stitchers who took a break from stitching would act out their scene, and it was the story was about like big business coming to town wanting to bulldoze these Victorian houses that had these yarn shops and needle workshops in them so they could build a strip mall. And the lady who owned the yarn shop got killed. She was played by Dottie, the Stitching Scotty, if you watch her on Flosstube, and some other people. Another shop owner was played by Susie, and at my table I sat with Dottie and Susie and Dolores, and those are people that I met all of them. Well, I met Dottie at StitchCon. I had watched her videos before, and the other ones I met at Painter's Crossing and Stitch-In. So we had a good time. When it came time for lunch, Susie said, "Hey, you want me to cook hot dogs for everybody? You want me to, and you want me to cook yours for you?" We were like, "Yes." I had no desire to go stand out there with a hot dog over a flame to cook it. I know, I mean, it's not like I don't like campfires, but I just didn't feel like it that day. Getting, smoke in my eyes and stuff. And then later on, they did s'mores. I didn't have s'more. I'm not a big sweet eater. I'm not big on s'mores, really. So, but the hot dog was really good. It was really good. Okay, so, and the murder mystery was funny, really, because of the bad acting or overacting that people did. It was just funny. All right, so for stitching, I have some FFOs that I want to share with you. And the first one is Christmas is Coming by Shakespeare's Peddler. I showed you this finished project last video. And I told you I was going to finish it in a frame at Hobby Lobby. The like beaded trim frame. And this is the beaded trim frame. I put what's in here in it. It comes just like this, white with the brown beads. And this is the information. I'm showing that to you because if you had done this chart the way it was charted, it would have fit in here pretty perfect, where you would have had margin top, bottom, and sides, where you could see the margin. I made a mistake on mine, and so it threw it off because it was longer. But I got this frame. It's just painted white inside here, but I didn't want it to just be white. I wanted some kind of trim around it, and I didn't want to put a bunch of trim on the piece. So I put it in here, and my idea was just put some Velcro in here. Some people use the magnets and stuff, but I just use Velcro. It's easier, and it sticks better, I think, than, I guess it's just a matter of preference, than the magnets. The magnets seem like a lot you have to go through to do those. But I was, you can't tell by looking at it, but I was meticulous about cutting this homespun to put in here. I just used Alien's craft glue and put it down. Well, once you get it in the glue and you're trying to straighten it out, it kind of stretches a little bit here and there. So even though I cut perfectly on the right line so the piece would fit in here perfectly, it didn't look perfect when I was done. Which I don't mind, like looking at this, how it is now. I don't mind that it's not perfectly straight, that the stripes aren't perfectly straight. That doesn't really bother me. Because I kind of like things sometimes that are perfectly imperfect. So I ran some twine around the edge to hide the wonkiness of the fabric edge after it's stretched. And I actually ran two. I don't know if you can see. I ran two rows of the twine. And I just used Alien's craft glue again to hold that in. Well, then I went and I cut a piece of mounting board and I stretched my piece on it, and I put a couple pins in it as if I was going to pin it, but that was really just to hold it straight, and then I glued it. This is a a seasonal piece, holiday piece, so it's not like it's on display all the time. So I did it on just a piece of mounting board with some batting behind it, and then I just ran this. This is rickrack from the 60s or 70s. It was in my mom's stash. I've used it before. I'm about to use it all up. But that's how it finished up. I put a hanger on it in case I wanted to hang it. And the reason I did that is because it doesn't fit in this frame. Had I not made a mistake, it would have fit in here pretty good. A mistake in my stitching. Even after I had the mistake, I measured it and thought it would fit in here. However, when I put that twine in there, it now won't go in. Like, it'll go in on top of the twine. See? But I decided, no, I'm not going to do it. I was going to kind of like have it all to one side maybe, and then put maybe some hang little bells or greenery or something there, if I didn't put it right in the middle. And I could still kind of stick it on top of that twine, but I didn't like it. So I'm just going to save this for something else. Still use the idea, hopefully, of a Velcro mount, or maybe I can change it out for seasons or when I get tired of looking at something. This piece I need to put put some felt on the back. The day that I finished this, the felt I had was too short. This is probably about 14 inches long, and my felt was not that long. So I went and got another piece of felt, just the Hobby Lobby. I got gray. I thought gray would look good on the back. Give it a more finished appearance, of course, if I put it on the easel or somewhere where you might sometimes see the back. But I'm going to leave that rickrack hanger between it, but still I can fold it back if I'm just going to stand it up somewhere. But it'll be ready to hang as well. So I thought that look turned out pretty good. I like that a lot. Y'all, because I recorded this, I hope I'm not going to repeat things. I hope I'm not going to repeat things. I was like, I already did that. No, that was on the what video you lost. Okay, another FFO. Pardon me. And it was the Prairie Schooler Spring and Fall November piece. I've been doing these all year. Here's November. November got up about a week late. One of my co-workers shamed me about it. She came and she looked at it, she said, oh, she was almost like petting the October piece. And it was November, November, I don't know, couple. It was the first week of November. I said, I know, I haven't stitched it yet. It won't take me but a few days to do it. And she just gave me a hard time about it. So I did finish it. It is hanging on my office door, and here's a picture of it right here. I thought that turkey turned out great. In fact, I might use that turkey on something else. I liked it so much. I really like it. As soon as I was done stitching the turkey, oh gosh, have I lost it? I went ahead and stitched December. And I thought, man, I'm going to be ahead of the game. And December is going to be up on my door on December 1st. Well, I had it sitting with my things to make this video, and I hadn't made the video. Today's December 1st, and I've already worked today and come home. But here it is. It's been done for a couple of weeks, although it's not on my door. I just use, when I finish these, I use the cardboard like you get, like if I buy chart from a shop and they mail it to me, they might stick that gray looking cardboard in there with it. And there's a name for that cardboard, but I cannot remember what it is right now. So, but anyway, some of it's thinner than others. Sometimes I double it up, glue it together, and then I put a little batting on it and just wrap my piece around it. This fits in the frame at work, and it's got a little bit of bend, which helps because it's pretty tight in there. So it kind of holds itself in the back, if that makes sense. It has a couple of things that you twist, but they don't really hold it in there. It's holding itself in there. And then I just back it with felt, nothing fancy. And got a little glue. Nothing real fancy. I just use Aleene's craft glue for it all. I might use a little bit of hot glue. Actually, I do use hot glue. Well, I used completely hot glue on this one. I was in a hurry to get it done. I can see it. Really, the felt looks better if you use the Aleene's craft glue because you can kind of see. There you go. And that looks white, but it's just shiny where there's got some glue on it. Anyway, you don't see the back. I'm the only one that sees the back. I didn't even have to put the felt on there, but I do. Now I have all year done. So 2023, I will never be late in changing my door. All right, got some FFOs. So you have to show me those. Now I do have some whips. When I went to the stitch-in, the murder mystery stitch-in, I took a few things with me, but the only thing I worked on was this chart right here. Ebenezer. It says bah humbug. Ebenezer Scrooge. The stitch-in was from, pretty sure it was from 11 to 5. Or was it 10 to 5? 10 to 5. So we had, what, 7 hours? That's all I got done. 7 hours. But you don't go to retrieve to stitch, right? You don't go to stitch-ins to stitch. You go to socialize, right? That's what I did, apparently. All right. I didn't show you the Christmas stocking yet, did I? Oh, Lord. If I did, I'm going to go through and edit this out. I don't think I did. All right. So the Christmas, the whip that I've been working on almost exclusively since my last video, which has been a couple of months, is the Best of Christmas. This is a chart that I got off of eBay. It was a kit. So it came with all those colors that you had to sort, and I took poster board and made my own little stitch holders. I even used a corner rounder for my scrapbooking stuff, and punched holes, and you have all of these floss colors. Almost done with the chart, so there's not a lot left as far as the thread go. I did replace the fabric with 14 count white Aida. It came with 14 count beige or cream colored Aida, which I didn't particularly care for. And it didn't match the other stockings. All the other stockings, which, how many do I have up there? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stockings are stitched on 14 count white Aida. Because that's what I did back in the 90s. And I wanted this to look like them, so that's why I went to eBay for a chart. I just couldn't find anything I found plenty I liked, but not that would kind of go with the others. I didn't want to look out of place, you know. So this is where I am on the stocking. I'm just about done. I've gone through, I stitched the whole thing, and then I went through and did all the back stitching. And it's a lot of back stitching. I don't mind back stitching. I stitch in hand and use the sewing method. So even when I used to stitch with a hoop and do the, what's it called? Poke and stab, poke and pull, whatever it is. I still would take it out of the hoop to use the sewing method for back stitching. Always have. The only thing I need to do right now is, well, can you see how close I got? Oh my gosh, y'all. I had a huge piece of aida and I cut it down, and I started over here. Can you tell? It's plenty of room because normally I hide a couple of those stitches in my seam anyway, the ones that go all the way over. So I'm going to be good. I really am going to be fine. But it got close and I got a little worried there for a couple minutes. I have a little more, it's like a little checkerboard to do here. And then I'll do her name, Catherine, and then a border on the top. And I used whisper thread for his beard. You can see that. And I'm going to go back through. I didn't do any of the white fur like on his hat or coat, and I didn't do his beard until last because I thought I might use whisper thread on all of it, but I think I'm just going to do his beard now. I need to do this cuff just with white DMC, and that part is not stitched. Everything else is stitched. I'm going to go do just one leg over top of this, the white fur on the dog in the whisper thread. So his beard and the dog will be a little bit fluffy. Got a bunch of, this took me so long because the color changes. I mean, the style of stitching I mainly do now, you don't have, 30 colors. It was a lot. It was a lot. But I really do love it. I love it more than I thought I was going to. Like, I wasn't completely happy with this chart at first, but I really love it now. So I will be finishing that up. In fact, I'm going to stitch on that today and this weekend, get it done, and FFO it because it's got to hang up on the mantle. I looked everywhere in town for, which is not a lot of places to look, for pink velvet to use on the back of that stocking, because if you watch one of my Christmas videos from last year, maybe last year about this time, I show all the stockings I made, and I tell you some of the stories of big, major screw-ups on my stockings. If you mess something up, and you need to laugh and think somebody couldn't mess it up worse than you, watch my video. I messed it up worse than you. Trust me. Just trust me. But I couldn't find pink velvet to back this stocking. And I shouldn't have put that away yet. I gotta show it to you, sorry. I went, the only place I have to buy fabric is like a little bit at Walmart. They don't have much of anything. Hobby Lobby. And we have a quilt shop. But the only one that I know of from what I saw that had velvet was Hobby Lobby, and they had 4 colors. And none of them were the colors I needed. So I ordered off of Etsy. And the velvet came in. I thought it was going to be more of a mauve pink than this bubblegum pink. But when I put it up against the stocking, it's kind of hard to show you. That pink looks pretty perfect, doesn't it? Like, look at that little girl, the pink there. It looks really good. So, when I first got it, I thought, how can I dye this to make it work? The pile on this is more like a, well, there's a stretchy velvet, and I don't know what you call that. I can't sew with that. I wanted nothing to do with that stretchy velvet. I could find that. I went to thrift stores to look at, like, if there was a holiday dress or prom dress, something that was black, that was pink velvet, and because I was just going to cut it up. I couldn't find anything. So this is really thin. I think it's more like for upholstery, which is a little bit like the kind I had to use last year on one of the stockings. But this is going to be easier to sew with for sure. So, and I got a whole yard of it. I want to say I had to buy a whole yard, but I can't swear to that. But with the remaining, I don't see myself making a lot of things with that color pink, but I could maybe dye it. And I might try dyeing it, see what I can come up with. See if I could, you know, like if I can get more of a dusty rose by adding some tan to it, or gray, or I don't even know. I can maybe use it for some spring pieces, you know, little pillows or something. Something to make it more useful to me, because that color pink, unless it's for a little girl, which this stocking happens to be, it's going to be hard to use it. Hard to use it. All right. I now have haul for you, and I have some pretty awesome haul. It's really pretty awesome. Oh. Okay, I'm still recording. Thought maybe I lost it. My phone. Okay, I have an Apple computer, which I haven't had that long. I got it this fall. Someone was just calling me on my cell phone. You know, everything links up. And it was like accept or decline, and it minimized my video. And I thought maybe it disappeared again, but it didn't. It's here. Did I show you all my Christmas sweater? It's about the only Christmas clothing I have. Anyway, excuse me. I have some great haul. Let me first show you while I was at the retreat, the Murder Mystery Retreat, I purchased a couple of things at the LNS, and I told myself, I'm not going to spend more money. It wasn't bad though. There were a lot of charts I really could have bought, and like Teresa Kogut's Halloween book was there, and I was like, oh gosh, there's so many cute things in that book. But I didn't. But what I did get was 2023 Book of Days. I enjoyed keeping the Book of Days this year. The only thing is, the last couple months, I haven't kept it up daily, but I've been working on that stocking, so I can almost go back through and just say, you know, working on the stocking, the best of Christmas, the whole month. But I didn't do my stickers and stuff like I was doing before. So I don't think I'm going to go back and recreate, you know, do it for the months that I skipped, which is October and November. I didn't do much stickering. It's right here. In fact, I need to update it again. Let me show you what I got. I mean, I wrote down my stitching, but you see it's not decorated. And I got through half of November. So I don't think I will go back and sticker those 2 months. I'm just going to save those stickers for 2023. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to go back and write down what I'm stitching on. I want to write on that for sure. So the Book of Days, I was excited that they had that. Because I tried to order it from another store online, Barefoot Needle Arts, because they're a South Carolina store, and I like to try and support local business, you know, even though they're several hours away from me. I've never been there. They were out of stock when I went. So then I had to retreat and went. They had some, but I know Barefoot Needlework, I think I got maybe an email saying they were back in stock. But I had already bought mine by then. So, I bought some floss. I got a little bit of floss at Panda's Crossing while I was at the retreat. I took that Ebenezer chart with me to work on. And when we got them, at the Christmas retreat, they gave you all the threads you needed on a card. I had like this skein of 310 DMC. I'm like, why do I have this? And I set it aside, didn't bring it. That was for the black. There's all that black hat. So I had to buy some 310 DMC of all things. Like I probably have 15 skeins of that here. Anyway, so I bought some floss, but I also got some floss at a thrift store. And I think all these were in a package for a couple dollars. I have never seen this brand before, but they were very pretty. It's called Needle Paints. Have you all ever seen cotton thread? It says it's 100% Egyptian cotton. 10 meters of 6-ply floss processed in the USA. And on the front, it says lavender and lace. Can I read that? I feel like it's kind of hard to see. I had really good light earlier when I filmed. And then on the back, it has Told in the Garden down at the bottom. That looks like it's kind of hard to read. Anyway, it says Told in the Garden and Rochester, New York address. I don't know. When I first saw these, I thought it was a year printed on them. But then I think that's not the year, that's the color, the number of the color. And I mean, I got all these for a couple of bucks. And I think they're so pretty. I'm thinking somebody charted up either a Told in the Garden chart or a lavender and lace chart. Probably lavender. These colors make me think lavender and lace more. But they were so pretty. I can't wait to stitch something with those. Oh, I forgot to show you that those came from a thrift store. But back to Panda's Crossing, I got some 36 count vintage country Mocha. And this was like a weird shape piece. I mean, it was like a fat half plus a little long piece stuck to it. And I just told him I'll take it off. Take it off because the printer's tray, you can see it just a little bit right down there. Right there. That I started working on. I was using 36 count fabric in it. And I just used up scraps of what I had because I was just experimenting with it. Well, not that all the little boxes need to match exactly, but I think it would look better if they were all in the same fabric, and that's what I got this for. But I could use this for anything. I mean, it's just a great color. I got where I really like 36 count now for certain things, because I can just use one strand of floss. So there's that. Okay. Well, this is right here in front of me. I went to TJ Maxx, and oh gosh, don't update now, not now. Sorry. And I was buying some things. I decided to do 25 Days of Christmas for my children. including my daughter-in-law. And I told, oh gosh, my computer's giving me a message. The timer's still running. I don't know. I think it's still good. I'm going to keep going. I hope this is recording. I hope it's recording. Anyway, I decided to do 25 days of Christmas for my kids. You know, losing my husband in August, it's going to be, you know, a bittersweet holiday. You know, there's going to be some sad moments, and I just wanted them to, at least once a day, have something happy. And so I have 25 gifts for them, and I gave them all to them. Well, I gave them to my son and daughter-in-law today. I gave it to my 2 daughters yesterday evening, and they can open one a day. They don't have days 24 or 25. I'm hoping we'll be together then, but if not, like if my son was going to his in-laws, I think he actually has to work Christmas. But I said I'll get them to you for those days if you're not going to be around. But the 24th, it's been since they were little. I always say, okay, it's Christmas Eve. You can open one gift, but I get to pick which one it is. It's always pajamas. Always pajamas for them to wear the next day. I have the pajamas for them. They wouldn't fit in the bags that I prepared for the 25 days. So I'm just like, I'm putting those under the tree, and I'll just give this to you later. So I had 4 people to buy 23 gifts for. And day 25 is Christmas Day, so I'm just going to give them something Christmas Day. Instead of making wrapping hard, I just got brown lunch bags, put the stuff in there, rolled it down, stapled it, put a sticker on it with a number. Day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on. And I think it's going to be, I hope, like not every, some things maybe came from the dollar store. Some things are a lot nicer. But they're all, you know, relatively small things and just a little something to open up, you know, to have a happy moment at least every day. Hopefully you're smiling. So I went to TJ Maxx and got a bunch of stuff. That's a great place to buy stocking stuffers if you need anything. But while I was there, I saw this with their Christmas wrapping, and it was $7.99, and it's all pom-poms, and they're like little teeny pom-poms. And I thought, those are not the kind that I think you stitch. I think these are the kind you need to like probably stitch in the seam or stitch behind or glue behind a piece. And I thought, if I'm making ornaments, these would go between the 2 layers of board. And that's a lot of pom-poms on there for Christmas ornaments. My plan of making Christmas ornaments for all my coworkers is a no-go. Today is December 1st. I have to finish that stocking. I have to stitch smalls for each of my children. I pretty much know what I'm going to do for them. I'm not going to say it here in case they watch. They don't watch, but of course, the one day I said something that's supposed to be a surprise, they would watch. I will show you those after I make them though, and you know, post it Christmas Day or the day after, something like that. But I'm not going to have time to stitch for my coworkers. I'm just not. So, but these, I have you know, I bought those sleds to stitch on, put stitching on. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. I think they came from a thrift store that I thought, I mean, not that I don't like that saying, but this would be perfect to do one of those, like the same kind of thing you stitch for on one of the sleds and mount it on there. These were $1. And they're in two different colors and a couple of different sayings. I can't remember exactly where I got them, but they were $1. So maybe next year I'll be able to use them, hopefully. Okay. I'm going to show you. I think I mentioned in one of my other videos, because I showed you some things I purchased, I believe, a fairly new antique shop in my town called Little Shop of Hoarders. I love the name, and I love the stuff they have in there. I've talked to the owner every time I go in and tell her a little bit about what I'm doing and, what I'm going to do with the pieces I buy from her and why I like them and stuff. And so we've talked a little bit about stitching. She has a lot of antique sewing things, a lot of them. She said she collected them for years. She's originally from Connecticut and lived in Pennsylvania for years. And I think the antiques are better the further north you go. Maybe they're more primitive style, more style I like than, not that they don't have those things here in South Carolina, but they don't have as much, I'll say that. So she said she collected all those sewing things. A lot of them were from her personal collection. She said, I bought so much thread, you wouldn't believe it. She said, I don't sew at all. She's like, do you sew? I said, I sew a little bit. I cross stitch a lot. And so she's happy that I was purchasing things that were from her collection because she said, I know they're going to someone who will love them and appreciate them. And I do quite a lot. The first thing I'm going to show you is an oddity, I think. I've never seen it before, but I'm just really starting to collect sewing antique things. And when I went online, there seems to be a lot of people have talked about these things. And this is a Victorian sewing thing here. It's got the little pincushion on the bottom and a thimble holder in the middle with this ribbon. It's very old. It's all made on a wishbone. I saw this and I was like, it's Thanksgiving. When I was a kid, we would always save the wishbone. We'd put it in the windowsill so it would dry. And once it was dry, then you do the thing where two people make a wish and pull it. And whoever gets the bottom, the big part on the bottom, your wish is supposed to come true. We did that, every Thanksgiving. Well, I cooked 2 turkeys this Thanksgiving. And I didn't pull one wishbone out. I think they got broken, is what I think happened. But anyway, because she made me a deal on this, and it's so odd and unusual to me that I love it. But I went online to look. She said this one is different for her. This is part of her collection because this little crochet piece comes down to a pincushion. She said she never saw one with a pincushion on there. It's the only one she has like that, or had that way. So I went online just to see if there were other ones on there, and I found out some more information about the wishbone. And it's trivia and some maybe useless knowledge that I'm about to give to you if you don't already know it. Okay, the ancient Romans thought the wishbone was lucky too. But instead of breaking it the way we do, they would stroke the dried goose or chicken bone for good luck. The Romans thought the hens were soothsayers because their squawk foretold the laying of an egg. The rooster because his crow heralded the coming of dawn. Okay. Romans brought the tradition to Great Britain, and then it came to America, the whole wishbone tradition. Wishbones were called Merrythoughts in the British Isles. So this instead of a wishbone, it's a Merrythought. They were one of 3 lucky charms. It was the wishbone, the horseshoe, and the 4-leaf clover. The term wishbone came into use around 1850 in America when Lincoln made Thanksgiving a national holiday. The older term of merrythought was still fairly common until about 1900. So if you ever hear somebody call it a merrythought, I've never heard that. Anyway, now you know more about the wishbone maybe than you ever wanted to know. I just thought it was cool. So anyway, I got some other things at that shop, and the one is this pincushion. Now I've seen other people doing some finishes like this recently, but this is obviously very old and faded. I tried to see if maybe it was stuck in something new, but it's in there pretty tight. I think it's always been in there. I don't know, but I like it. This next piece is like an artist's, do you call it a palette? That's what it looks like to me. Is that what you call that? Where they put the paint on there? Now it's got a little hole in it. That red, you're seeing through a hole. This is wool, and probably a moth got to it. But it's an old needle book. And look at all these old pins in there. And that felt. I just love it. I love the colors. I love the design. I thought that's so cute. Then, so I got those things. Let's see. Yeah, I got those things several weeks ago, maybe a month ago at that shop. And I could go in there every day. And none of those were very expensive. I mean, the wishbone was the most expensive one. But the other two, I don't know, the wooden one this is $6. And this was not much either. It was under 10, I think. But I went in let's see, Black Friday. My sister and I used to go Black Friday shopping. We would, back before they started having all these early Black Friday sales. And we would go to sleep after Thanksgiving, dinner and cleaning up and everything. Sleep for, I don't know, 3 hours or so and get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and be waiting at the stores when they opened. We had some fun doing some crazy things during Black Friday. One time there was a bomb threat at our Walmart, so they evacuated Walmart in the middle of the Black Friday sales. People had to leave, like they had waited in line to get a TV for, cheap, and had to leave their carts in the store and go out without checking because they couldn't check out because of the bomb threat. It was crazy. We arrived after they had evacuated the store, and it was a mob in the parking lot, and we just got right in the middle of the mob. It was it was a calm mob. People were not upset, but people who had waited to get those crazy deals, half of them lost them because if they didn't get to their cart before somebody else did, somebody grabbed that cart and claimed it. It was a crazy mess. One year we waited in line like an hour or more at Old Navy to get pajama pants. Like $5 pajama pants. I'm kind of over that now. First of all, they don't have those sales that you can only get at that time. They run them all week. They have Cyber Monday. They do. Stores were open on Thanksgiving Day. A lot of stores, have kind of stopped that now, which I'm so grateful for. Because people need to have time with their family. But anyway, we wanted to go out this year and do some Black Friday shopping, even if it wasn't early morning hours or fighting crowds, just to have fun. And I really didn't have anything I was looking for. So my daughter-in-law, of course, has a baby, and she's, you're not going to take the baby out shopping, really. It's kind of a hassle, dealing with the car seat and carrying her and all that stuff, in and out in the cold. And so I told her, I said, the only thing I want to do is go to my favorite antique shop right now, and they're having a 20% off everything sale in the store. And so let me go with everybody to the antique shop. I'm going to come back. I'll babysit while you go out to all the other stores. And she's like, deal. So we did that. We split it up. So I went there, and the first thing I picked up, I had seen before. I kind of stalked this thing before, and you saw my cover picture. It's a tiny yo-yo quilt. Oh my gosh. I love it. It came apart right here. I need to stitch that back together. But of course, it's all hand done. It's very old. It's like feed sack fabric. And I'm just going to use it, for display. I love it. The other thing I got was this cookie cutter. And it's also very old. And my daughter's like, why do you want that cookie cutter? I said, well, there's like a designer, cross-stitch designer that's called Heart and Hand. So there's another one. I was thinking Teresa Kogut, who's now using the Heart and Hand as her logo. I said, because it's a very old, like, folk art symbol, the Heart and Hand. And she's like, okay. So I had to get this just for display. I mean, it's very old, and it just goes to show you how old the symbol is. I mean, the symbol's been used a lot longer than this cookie cutter's been around, but it's pretty old. And so those were my only Black Friday purchases. I was real happy to get those. I did go back to see her to buy some other things that I can't talk about. But she had these old ball jar lids. It's got the glass inside, like the milk glass. And I got 4 of these. They were $1 each. And she had a bunch of them in there. I got ones that said ball on them. Not all of them. Some of them were just plain, but I wanted to have the logo on there. Because people, when you see a blue jar, I know a lot of companies made them, but you always call it a ball jar, don't you? I do. I want to use these to make pin cushions. And they may be gifts for my daughters next year for Christmas. A little pin cushion in there. I said last year, after I gave them a handmade thing, that every year I want to give them something handmade. I mean, I might just give them an ornament from the tree, but I want to give something handmade. Okay. I'm out of order a little bit as to how I got these things. I'm just show them all to you. I got this remnant fabric at Hobby Lobby. I thought it was so pretty. And my price was $2.79 for 2/3 of a yard. But I thought that would be pretty if I was trying to finish some of my cross stitch. Right before Thanksgiving, I was looking online. I was on Facebook, and several people kept posting things for sale. And one lady posted some furniture. It was an estate sale, and she had a cabinet, and it was a handmade cabinet, and it was maybe 36 inches, maybe a little taller, inches tall, and it just had 2 doors, and it was like 12 inches deep. Well, where that bookshelf sits right there, I thought I might put it there. That bookshelf is it's an oak bookshelf in like a mission style. It's not old, but it's made to look old. And it was my mother's. She had 2 of them. Well, my youngest daughter, used to love to read a lot. I don't think she reads as much anymore because she's busy. But she claimed the bookshelves long before we knew we were giving my mother's things away. My mother said the bookshelves are for her. So, because she knew she loved books, and she has a ton of books. Well, she was making some changes in her room and said she was going to be taking the bookshelf back. So I bought that cabinet that I saw, and it was only $20 to put there. Well, now she said I don't have room for the bookshelf. So now I have a cabinet. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I could maybe stack it on like one of these. This is a science table that I do my crafts on, because it's so narrow, but I don't know. But anyway, when I went to pick up the bookshelf, the lady said, I'll be at my mother's apartment from this hour, like 2 to 4 Sunday. Because I was supposed to get Saturday and something came up. I said, I just can't. I'm babysitting. That's what it was. Babysitting came up. So her apartment complex wouldn't allow her to have a yard sale there or an estate sale, which is kind of how it was with my mom. So she would just, different people that were interested, she'd say, you come and you can look at everything I have. Well, she had a bunch of quilts. They weren't handmade quilts, but they were nice, pretty quilts. And my daughter bought 3 of them for herself. They were $10 each. My daughter-in-law got one that has like mauves and grays in it. Perfect. It's a twin size, but it perfectly matches her nursery. So if she moves up to a toddler bed or something, it'd be really cute. And I got this set of nesting boxes that have this prim design on it. And I thought they were so pretty. And it's 3 of them, in graduated sizes. I thought they would look really good in here to use for storage or something. I just really like them a lot. I also got a, maybe I can show you next time. It's like a bucket, but it's bigger than a bucket. But still got the metal hand. It's a metal, like galvanized tub, maybe, but it's round. But it's painted black, and it has the same kind of like prim design, flowers like that. Kind of not toll painting, but probably looks more like stenciling. And it's done in blue and white on that black, and it's faded, so you can't see it real well. But I love it. And so I got that. It had a nest of stuff with a fabric stuffed, like it's kind of calico fabric stuffed hen. If y'all remember any of this calico animals people would make and just use for decor, that's what this hen was. Well, the lady was up on top of the cabinets, and the apartment was really clean, really, like I think the lady probably hadn't lived there very long. But that thing was pretty dusty. It's very dusty. And she was like, I'll sell this to you for, I don't know, it was maybe a few dollars. Actually, we made a pile, and she just made a deal with us on everything we had. But she said that, the dust is free. Well, I was like, I don't know if I want it. So I just took everything, but in the car, I was like, I don't know if I want that chicken. My daughter-in-law said, the chicken's so cute. If you don't want it, I'll take it. Well, it's still sitting on my front porch and still has a bunch of dust on it. I'm going to clean it up. I might show you all, but I probably won't keep the chicken. I don't have a place for it, and I'm kind of wishy-washy about whether I like it. I mean, I could see where it could be cute, but maybe not in my house. Anyway, I have some more haul here to show you. Let me get on with that. I went in, when I was looking for the pink velvet, I went in Goodwill. And I don't often go in our Goodwill because they just have stuff like thrown on the shelves. And sometimes you can find some good stuff in there, but it's kind of aggravating to go in there the way they have stuff thrown and it gets broken. But I found this little box, and it's just made like balsa wood. But it was 89 cents. It's showing up a lot redder than right now than it really is. It's really faded bad. Just plain inside. I think I'm looking at an original sticker on here. Looks like $3.60. It looks kind of like a Belk tag. I don't know if Belk would sell anything like that. 89 cents is the new tag from Goodwill, but the other one's old. Anyway, because it's so, I may use it just as it is, faded, but I thought I might paint it. Maybe a red, like chalk paint, or maybe even navy blue. I don't know. I'm not too worried about messing it up if it's not right. Then I got something that's an experiment. This also was 89 cents. It's a used cutting board. Okay. Now, I will buy a lot of things at thrift stores and use them because you can clean anything, but this you can't clean, like for food. I wouldn't trust that. But if I sand this down and paint it black, could I not mount a piece of stitching on here? If there's, like oils or anything in this, would it bleed through the paint? That I don't know. Which is why, I'm just going to take a palm sander to it and then paint it with some chalk paint. It's an experiment. It's just going to be an experiment and see how it comes out. That's a purchase there. I got to show you. That is my favorite purchase right there. I'm saving that for last. Okay, then also my trip to Goodwill. This was, I think, $1.89. I still do Christmas Christmas baskets. No, I don't do. I do Easter baskets for my children, and I have Easter baskets that were used for me and my siblings, and the baskets are older than me. They were really for my older siblings, who are, the oldest one is 17 or 18 years older than me. So I'm guessing that they're from the late 50s, early 60s. Anyway, they're the ones I use for my kids, and I've added to them. I have the ones that like were mine and maybe a couple sisters. When my mom got rid of them, I took them, but then I've added a couple to them because I do baskets for my children and my grandchildren. So last year I did one for my daughter-in-law. Her family they are Christian and celebrated Easter and Christmas, of course, but they never did Santa, I don't think. She never had a stocking before. I made a stocking for her last year. She never had Easter basket. So I did Easter basket for her, but it didn't match the other baskets. It was like a new looking basket. But I found an old one at Goodwill. These are all made in Mexico. You can see it's a little darker. Well, it originally was a little darker in there. Some of them, I have a couple that are turned out like this in that shape, but I have some that are just round with no flare at the top. So I was glad to get that because her basket will match everybody else's now. So I was excited. Another thrift store that I go to, y'all, can you tell? I mean, I've had some emotional moments, as you might imagine, since my husband passed. But retail therapy really does help me. I get excited about it. I get happy about it, especially when it's a bargain. So anyhow, I went to our hospice store, and going there is a whole different world of thrift stores than Goodwill is, because they're very selective about their things. Everything's clean, sorted, and neat. Yeah. So, and they also will save things back for a holiday. So like in October, they started putting Christmas things out, and they add to it each week, but they had been saving it up all year, so it would be in season. And they had some cross-stitch books, Christmas cross-stitch books that they had been saving back. I guess these were all with the Christmas things. One of them is just a book of alphabets from Leisure Arts. I mean, you could always use some alphabets. One was this magazine. What year? I found the year in it. This is from 1993. Cross Stitch Christmas. Those little elves are kind of cute on the front, but I probably wouldn't stitch that. But I did flag some things that I like in here. I thought I'd share with you. Oh, a stocking. Now, if I did that on white Aida, it's probably done on blue there. It's full coverage, but if I tweaked it a little bit, I could use that for the next grandchild, for their stocking. do the animals and maybe one of the pine trees, and then their name. Not do all that background. So I was like, yay, because those charts are getting harder to find. This I won't stitch because I just stitched something with the same verse on it, but the piece I just FFO'd, Christmas is Coming, this is the same little verse. I just thought that was funny. Kind of that I was just working on one. Cardinals are always pretty. I mean, they're just pretty. This verse, you can only see part of it because it's cut off here, but glory to God in the highest peace on earth and goodwill toward men. I thought that was really pretty. And then, oh, I forgot one. Oh, then this I thought was so cool. This is done with metallic threads. However, I know from experience, metallic threads are a bear to work with, or even the blending filaments. I hate it. But what if you did these and you beaded it like a perforated paper? Wouldn't that be pretty? It would almost look like stained glass with the beads. I don't know. I just thought that would be pretty. Then they had a couple books, and these were all, the magazines were cheaper, I think. The books were $1. And they had 3 of these books, Holiday and Cross Stitch, for different years. One of the books I didn't get. I flipped through and looked at everything. I didn't see anything in there I liked. It was just all too dated, I guess. But these others had a few things. And these are all holiday things. So this is like supposed to be for April Fool's Day. It's a jester. But I looked at that. I didn't see a jester. I know it is. But look at those boots and the coat and everything. It's so intricate and cool. I mean, I don't know. I just really liked it. I don't necessarily like the head. But that coat I thought was amazing. And I thought, you could do that coat maybe in reds, like it's a Santa or something. Do a different, I don't know. I just liked it. I also liked, I need to hurry up and get done, y'all. I'm losing my light. These flags. I know they were all used at different times, and I can't remember exactly when all of them were used. But I want to research that and then stitch some of these. And this one, it's really not a good picture, but it's just a cat face. And they did it on a sweatshirt. You don't have a straight on picture for the chart. I thought that cat face was awesome. Like you could just do that alone on a, Halloween piece, a little bowl filler or stand up or something. I liked it a lot. Then I got the same book for 91. I can't remember if the book I left behind was 92 or 89, but it was 3 books in a row. Oh, this had, I like this. Can you tell I like patriotic? I really like that. And I flagged this too, although, I don't know, it's pretty, but I'm not sure I would stitch that. I just like the pumpkin. And that's all I had flagged in there. So, alright, I know I have one more thing to show you, but let me look and see if I've shown you everything else. Oh, and I think I have. Oh, we're a little over an hour. Okay. This won't take long, and then we will wrap up, but this is worth looking at. In that same little shop of Porter's, she had this bag full. I mean, it is chock full of quilt squares that are vintage feed sack quilt squares. Some of them, like these, are sewn together already. I mean, these are old. Old. I'm guessing they're like from the 30s, 40s, maybe earlier. Somebody who knows about fabrics would maybe know about these. But I mean, I could just, all these are, and she said, oh, do you sew? I said, well, I dabble. Well, these are all sewn together. Like, I guess they're enough to make something, whoever she got these from. She said, I don't sew at all, and I had all that stuff. She said, just loved it. But look at all these. All these beautiful patterns. I mean, here's one I can just flip through and show you. The shop owner asked me if I quilted, and I said, well, I dabble. I made a quilt. It only took me 6 years. The one I finished, I said, it's the one that I started, and it literally broke my sewing machine. So I put it in timeout for like 6 years, and then I got my sewing machine fixed, and I left it there another few years, and then I finally finished it last year and gave it to my husband for Christmas. But in her shop, she has some doll quilts, and they're made like this, little intricate pieces. And I thought, oh gosh, those like on a table, like a table in my living room, or, you know, instead of like the way you might put like a candle mat, or, you know, you put it under a lamp just to give like a base to whatever your little decor is. What's the name of that stuff? I don't know. I'm tired. I can't think of words. Words are hard. But just like, you know, instead of like you would lay a doily down, or a runner or something, you would lay down the little quilt, is what I thought. And I even took pictures and gave it. We drew names. My kids and I all drew names, and we drew a name of someone to buy a gift for and someone to fill a stocking for. And just the adults. And we don't need anything. It was crazy for everybody to spend all that money on each other when we're trying to make Amazon lists, and we're having trouble making an Amazon list because we don't need anything. Okay. So, anyway, I took pictures of those miniature quilts and a couple other things in her shop, and said, if you don't want to shop on Amazon, here's some other things you could get. But now that I got these, I really don't need those miniature quilts because I'm going to make one. Or 2 or 10. There's so many squares in here. I mean, y'all, I just can't even. There's so many beautiful fabrics. I mean, look at this. It's so pretty. So many pretty fabrics in here. Bead set quilt squares is what they're, yeah. Anyway, I could, if I knew, I've never done yo-yos before, but I could do some yo-yos with those. Interesting. That's all I have, y'all. I sure hope I don't delete this video too. You may never see another one. No, I'm just kidding. I do have another video planned, and I don't know if it'll be before Christmas or after. I'm not going to make big promises that I don't know if I can keep. I should really be able to do it before Christmas, but we'll just have to see. But what I have are my plans for 2023. Now, I'm not real good at making plans. I tried in 2022 to make some plans, like to make those monthly things. I was behind on them. I was also going to do the Prairie Schooler Santas, 12 Days of Christmas Santas from Prairie Schooler. I got to like 4. You know, you just get busy. I'm not going to have firm plans like that, but I am going to have some things I'm going to start, and I'm going to share those with you. And so there'll be a lot of eye candy. I will I'm sure I'll have a finished stocking to show you then. And while I'm off this December for Christmas break, I may try and make a little quilts. If I have time, I really want to. Like, I'm kind of chomping at the bit. I want to make this right now, and not do the stocking, but I have to do the stocking. So, sorry y'all, I just keep looking around thinking I forgot something, and I hope I didn't forget to tell you anything. I hope I didn't repeat myself because I had to make this video 3 times. But I hope y'all have a very Merry Christmas. Hope you have some wonderful time with family and friends, and you remember the reason for the season. And also, I hope you have some of the magic of the season that comes with kids and Christmas. You know, that was always so much fun for me with my kids, and fun for me as a kid. You know, this kids are what make Christmas fun to me. But anyway, y'all have happy stitching and happy Christmas, and I will see you soon. Bye.